Welcome back to your Sunday edition of Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, TV8, and yeah, I'm pretty comfortable because we are going to do something new here at TV8. We're going to get you in shape on Sunday mornings, and we're going to kick it all off with yoga with Nevada Lee. Hi.
Hey, welcome. Grateful to be here.
I am so happy to have you here. I think you are amazing. What Nevada does is not only is he a local DJ that can play for your parties, but you do so many teachings of yoga. You've been doing this for several years, and you also teach over at Effect School of Rock, the kids, so you get them through some yoga practicing. But what I want to do is, for anybody who's watching right now that maybe has never tried yoga or maybe has put their toe in the water, per se, I want to explain by you the benefits of yoga and why we should all at least practice some form of it each day of our lives.
Well, for me personally, my yoga experience started 7 years ago. I found myself in a place, we're in an environment where we work hard, we play hard, we get hurt, we have injuries, we sit at desks all day long, and we kind of find ourselves out of balance. We find ourselves sitting in the car getting stressed out, remembering not to breathe. And I found myself at a point in life where I wasn't centered in my body, I wasn't centered in my mind, and that ultimately led to me not being centered in my soul. So I kind of felt lost, my body was in pain, and life just wasn't flowing as easily as I thought it should be. And then 7 years ago, kind of when I was at one of the lowest points in my life, with everything, I was blessed to find somebody that got me into yoga for the first time. My first yoga practice was extremely scary. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know if it was right for me. I'd seen people practice it before, but it was something that, I just needed to take that leap to see what it was. And that was one of the best things I've ever done for myself in my entire life.
Well, number one, I am so grateful that you just said what you said, because a lot of us go through things. I've been in my own dark places. You're not alone. We all go through so many struggles. And I did learn a long time ago that yoga, if you practice it regularly, you kind of have this air of peace around you. And even when things are chaotic, it's more easily controlled. The very first time I did yoga, this is so crazy, was in Florida, and I never did yoga, and I was going through turmoil and just maniacal life, like insane, a lot of self-loathing things going on. And I realized that I wasn't working through stuff, and a friend of mine introduced me to yoga. I went and sat in the back of the class because I thought it was going to be bad. And this is the weirdest part. When the yoga was done, and what's the thing when you're laying out at the end?
Shavasana.
Shavasana. I started crying, like sobbing, and it didn't come to me, like I wasn't thinking of anything. I'm just weeping and sobbing, and my friend who's the instructor came over later. I'm like, why can't I stop crying? She goes, you've obviously released the stuff. And what it does is, I am living proof, so is Nevada Lee, that you can really, really work through life when you have something special that you can practice. It's self-love, it's fulfilling for your soul, your mind, your body, and so many other things. So that's why I wanted to bring you here for our very first segment of exercising on Sundays, because I think this is something not only for your body, but for everything involved.
And it's so awesome when you get through an entire practice and you get to Shavasana, which is also called corpse pose. So at the end of your practice, you end in corpse pose. The beginning of most yoga practices start in child's pose. So you're kind of going through a birth all the way through a progression of your life and your body stages. So by the time you get to Shavasana, you lie down, you're a corpse pose, and then essentially your body is reborn again. And so with all the goodness that you have just experienced, you've absorbed it, you've stretched your muscles, you've stretched your hips, that releases a lot of energy, a lot of built up tension.
Yes.
And once yoga essentially means to unite or to connect with breath.
Oh,
so
I love that.
It means to connect first your mind. Your mind wanders and races all the time. You'll be driving down. When was the last time you actually remembered to breathe? And most people don't even remember to breathe. You breathe automatically. Most of your organs in your body, they work whether you like it or not. They're going to keep doing that.
Absolutely.
That's what makes breath most important, is because you absolutely have full control over that autonomous system in your body. So once you learn to unite your breath to your body, to your mind, that transfers over into overall well-being that essentially with the practices helps your soul.
I think that's so profound, and it really is true. I can't say enough about this practice. There's just something freeing. And what I've noticed is, because I have a little anxious personality, if nobody's figured that out yet, and with the breathing, when you do have anxietous moments, if you take a moment to practice your breathing that you've learned through yoga or anything, it's almost a form of meditation, because you're only focusing on that one thing, and all of a sudden, all the angst is gone, because you're working through things and you're concentrating on something else for yourself. This is a purely self-indulgent, loving thing that you can do for yourselves. So I'm really excited. Why don't we start off, well, before that, how do people reach you? Because you can get a private yoga lesson from Nevada Lee or a group lesson. So how do they reach you?
You can reach me on Instagram or on Facebook, Nevada Lee Furrow. Just go there, friend me, send me a private message. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. You're more than welcome to call the studio. They can give you my number directly.
Which studio?
This TV8 studio that we're sitting in here right now.
I thought it was like a yoga studio.
We can talk about the yoga studios as well a little bit later here. But
Wonderful.
those are the best ways to reach me. I do private lessons, I do group lessons. I've taught everybody from children aged 4 to 5 years old, you know, through all different people, all different body types. Yoga is for everybody.
It really is. You don't have to think, oh, I need to be a certain size to do this. You can be any human being, and that's what I love about it. It embraces everybody, because we're not all built the same. You know, I mean, I might look skinny. It doesn't mean I'm in shape.
Nope.
This is why I'm starting this. It's all for me, everybody. No, the truth is, it's for everybody. I really want to bring this to light and let everybody get an idea. We're going to learn how to breathe a little bit. We're going to learn a couple of stretches, and then you're going to show us some poses throughout the show.
That's exactly true.
So what do you do at the very beginning? Do you breathe first or stretch first?
It all starts with your breath.
All right,
so
let's
yoga
do some breathing.
means to unite with breath. And the typical breathing in yoga would be a 4-sided breath.
How's that?
Where you take a nice long inhale and try to make it last 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Everybody's lungs are different, so take a nice inhaling breath and inhale as much oxygen as you possibly can, and then try to hold it for the same period of time, and then slowly exhale.
Mouth or nose?
It doesn't really matter to
over.
start with, you know, when we get into the breathing. Just focus on the 4-sided breath.
Okay, so really it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
There are proper ways to do it, and there are breathing techniques as you get more deeper into yoga.
I know there's
meditation.
a diaphragmatic method that when you breathe in, you almost want to puff your belly out. You want to get all that air in, right?
And they're different. There's short kind of breaths. There's hummingbird breath. You know, there's bee's breath.
Of course
all
there
sorts
are.
of them.
I did not know that. Well, let's do your basic human breath.
But the basic is a 4-sided breath. And
Okay.
once you start concentrating on that breath, things around you are going to start to drop away. You know, the annoyances from over here, the thoughts of your daily life, you're just starting to focus on your breath. And then when you let all the breath out of your body, when your body is completely absence of breath, the only thing your body now starts to focus on is taking that next breath. So when you're, you know, suffocating,
feel that,
there's
yeah.
only one thing that you're physically present with, is that moment, that next breath. So that takes you right back to it.
And it keeps you
And
present.
then take a few different rounds of that breath, and after, you know, 30 seconds, a minute, you know, 90 seconds of doing this, your body will start to relax. Don't hold your breath for 90 seconds.
Heck no, unless you want to fall over. But yeah, I actually feel my body relaxing a little bit more as I do this breathing. It just kind of puts you in a nice space.
And so that's what you say, is we start to integrate our breath into our body.
Okay.
And then next is going to be to start to awaken the body, you know,
do we
with
do?
some simple, easy yin yoga that I do every morning. What I would like to focus on, because in my personal experience, I have dislocated shoulder, I have broken both of my ankles, you know, knee problems from snowboarding for so long.
Yeah.
And your out of posture alignment starts to lead to other pains. Like a lot of people have lower sciatic pain, and they don't know where it came from. You know, a lot of people have that pain right between their shoulder blades, you know, which leads you to favoring your shoulder, which leads you to kinking your neck in, which stiffens up all these muscles and don't allow them to flex and bend properly. So then what you get into is you're walking around in your day-to-day life and you don't have proper posture. And proper posture and proper alignment and trying to focus on that day-to-day will help you, you know, get out of those tendencies to hunch over, to slouch over,
Sure.
to favor, and it'll make your body feel better overall. It'll help
And-
you sleep better at
yeah,
night.
absolutely.
And, you know, that is very important. You know, the rest is just as important, you know, as the physicalness of your day.
Nice.
So,
right.
first thing I want to show is if you stand up.
Okay, we're going to stand up. We're going to take a break in a second, but let's kick off a stretch.
Well, I just want to show people
Okay.
so with proper posture, it's kind of weird and it feels really weird within your body, but have a friend of you take a picture of a side profile of you.
Okay.
And then just stand there like naturally how you do. You know, a lot of people have hunched over shoulders. You know, a lot of people, everybody's walking around on their phone all day, so they're walking with their
Yeah.
head down. So that's kind of how people's natural postures are starting to
Okay.
go. And that is not natural. So
Not natural, everybody. I
Not
cannot
natural.
wait to get more into this. We have to take a small break,
Okay.
but then we're going to be back with more yoga-bilitation. I just made that word up. We're going to rehabilitate with yoga with Nevada Lee. We'll be right back with
Thank
more
you,
Good Morning
Liz.
Vail on TV8.